This week, I am going to try something a tad bit different from what I've been doing in the past. In the past, I will give y'all my predictions for the upcoming race on a Monday for the Cup race, and that's NASCAR only. But this time around, I am going to do that, but also give y'all my predictions on how things will play out in the upcoming Formula One USA Grand Prix out in Austin, Texas. Two very exciting racetracks coming up this weekend, and a lot can happen in both races. For Formula One, Verstappen's already got the title, so no catching him there. But there's also a constructors battle going on for many teams on the grid, and that's going to be interesting to keep an eye on there. And in NASCAR, we're heading out to the second race in a round of 8. Right now, we got a driver locked into the Final Four, which is Logano. There's a lot to talk about there, but also the Wallace and Larson situation on how things should play out, in my own opinion. I'm going to give you all that, but also my picks. And on top of that all, I picked 5 contests for NASCAR only, not Formula One quite yet. I'll look into that for 2023, but for the time being, NASCAR only. So get your picks in below, and who knows, you may win a prize. And no said right here, on to the intro we go.
I'm Chase Briscoe, driver number 14 Ford Mustang for Stewart Haas Racing, and you're watching William Blackwell on YouTube.
This weekend, all of the NASCAR Cup Series and Xfinity Series and Truck Series teams are going to head out to Miami to race in Homestead. And this weekend is going to be a very crucial weekend for all 3 series, but the Cup Series to be exact. The Cup Series right now are in the second race in a round of 8 out of 3. You got Homestead here and Martinsville the following weekend, but we have one driver locked into the round of 4, which is Logano. And a lot can happen here in Homestead because I believe there's a lot of drivers below the cut line that can very well go to victory lane. And I believe we will see that Sunday. I believe that we will see Christopher Bell, who's currently 8th place in the points after a DNF in Vegas, which I'll talk about here in just a moment because that gets you fired up. But I think Bell will go home and this weekend and think about what he can do in Homestead. He's going to get on the simulator. He's going to do everything he can to get prepared for this race weekend because he knows deep down this is your best shot to win. Going into Martinsville is just as big of an unknown as Talladega is. You do not know what's going to happen. It could be a wreck fest very easily. So you want to go to Homestead and gain a lot of points and possibly still a win there. So Christopher Bell, I believe, will go to victory lane. Second place to him will be Chase Briscoe in the number 14 car. Briscoe, terrible qualifier. Terrible in stage number 1 and stage number 2, but has to be the best driver in the whole entire field in stage number 3. He's on a whole other level. If he can get that type of level in stage 1 and stage number 2, he will be all right. He will have the stage points on his side, and that's why he's 9 points below the cut line. He got 0 stage points Sunday. If he did, that can be a lot lower. If not, he could be above the cut line. Who knows? Crazy things have happened. But Briscoe, I believe, will come home in second place. And yes, I believe he will grab at least 1 stage point. I don't know what stage that will be, but I believe he will get some points in one of the stages. But Chase Briscoe second. Third place, though, will be Tyler Reddick in the 8 car. I believe he can very well play spoiler alert this weekend in the NASCAR Cup Series playoff field. He can go out there and win Homestead, a track where he's won at in the past in the Xfinity Series. When he came up to the Cup Series in 2020, had a phenomenal run here as a rookie, came home in 4th place, if I'm not mistaken. A great run for him there. And it's kind of gotten better throughout the years, and I believe he's a true contender for the win this Sunday in Homestead. That top line is going to be the way to go. But with these next-gen cars, who knows? They may decide that, hey, these next-gen cars, just barely tapping the wall can end our day. So do we want to play it easy for the first 200 laps and go all out for the last 67? I don't know. Time will tell. But if there's someone out there that's going to be testing it out before everyone else does, it'll be Tyler Reddick. Mark my words. Reddick P3. P number 4 will be Austin Cindric. Austin Cindric is a great driver here. Had a phenomenal weekend in Vegas when it came to speed, but the finishing result does not show. He was very quick, and so was his Penske teammates, Logano and Blaney. Blaney DNF from the, or not DNF from the race, had a bad finish though. Was involved in a wreck late on in the race, blew a tire. And he's going to have to make up a lot of points this weekend, but I believe Cindric's going to have a lot of speed and will bring it home in 4th place. 5th place, though, will be Kyle Larson. Enough said there. He's good at this track. He can go to victory lane. But my dark horse will be Justin Haley. I don't know what's going on with these Colleague cars. At the beginning of the year, they sucked. But right now, Colleague is going for the win week in and week out. We saw it the last 2 weekends in the Roval with Allmendinger and this past weekend in Vegas with Justin Haley. What are they doing? Oh my gosh. I believe next year, Allmendinger in the 16 car can be a true championship contender. And that's very early to say that. But there's my Homestead predictions. Bell winning, Briscoe 2nd, Reddick 3rd, Cindric 4th, and Larson 5th, and my dark horse will be Justin Haley. But we're going to talk about the Bubba Wallace situation. This past weekend in Vegas, we saw Wallace and Larson tangle on a restart at the beginning of stage number 2. And we saw Wallace get frustrated and wreck the 5 car of Kyle Larson, driver's side onto the wall on the front straightaway, and it also involved Christopher Bell. And what I believe needs to happen here is for NASCAR to lay their foot down on the gas pedal and fine or penalize Bubba Wallace to the fullest of extents they can. And what I mean by that is fine him big. I'll say $500,000 and take away a couple of points. Let's say 100, and suspend him for at least 2 or 3 races for the rest of the year. That what he did Sunday was very immature and should never happen again. His teammate Kurt Busch is out of NASCAR racing because of a concussion. And a concussion could have easily happened in this wreck right here Wallace started. Was Wallace wrong at the start? No, Larson was. He went up the track. But what Wallace did was very immature and very, very stupid. Very stupid, and there's no way you can back it up. He should be suspended, and big troubles here. I believe Denny Hamlin's going to have a talk with him. So will Michael Jordan. This is ridiculous, folks. Bubba Wallace needs to be punished big time. Very immature. Now switching things up, we're going to talk about the USA Grand Prix out in Austin, Texas. There's not really much to talk about. Max Verstappen is already the champ, and there's still a lot of things going on in the constructors and also individual points. Right now, Leclerc can still finish 2nd in the point standings, but right now he finds himself in 3rd place. But I believe this weekend, though, that will change very quickly because I believe Charles Leclerc, will go and get the win. Alongside him on the podium will be Max Verstappen in the Red Bull. They're going to have a good weekend. They're going to get a lot of constructor points and pretty much solidify themselves as P1 in the constructors for the first time in forever. But 3rd place would be Lewis Hamilton. I believe Hamilton's going to have a good weekend and get a podium. And there you go, the podium. Leclerc, Verstappen, Hamilton. P4, though, will be Sergio Perez. P5 will be Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz, I believe, will have a significant chance of winning this race this weekend out in Austin, Texas. I believe the Ferraris will be quick. But I do want to mention, though, the Mercedes are bringing a significant update to their car, and they're preparing for 2023. Could this update possibly bring speed and kind of help them out on the downforce side of things? Because they've been struggling all year, not really big top speed car, very good on a high downforce tracks. Low downforce tracks have been the weakness. Could this be the solver of all issues? I highly doubt it, but we can see. 6th place will be George Russell. 7th place will be Fernando Alonso. I believe Alonso and the Alpines, who I believe Ocon finished 8th, obviously, but I believe that Alpines will have a good chance of a big weekend. We saw some flashes throughout the year. Australia, for one, Hungary. There's a lot of tracks so far this year where the Alpines have been very quick and contending for a good finish. And I believe this weekend out in Austin, Texas, we can see the Alpines possibly going for a podium. They're that quick on these type of tracks on low downforce. So could Fernando Alonso or Esteban Ocon steal the show? We will see. P9 to be Zhou Guanyu. Zhou Guanyu is starting to click things in Formula One. He's starting to get better week in and week out, being a little bit more consistent than he was in the first half of the season. I'm liking what I'm seeing here, folks. He's going to be with Alfa Romeo next year. So next year, Alfa Romeo, I believe, will be contending in the Constructors for at least P5 or possibly P4 next year, because they're going to take a big step next year. Mark my word. P10, Landon Norris. Landon Norris and McLaren have made it clear nothing big is going to happen for the next couple of years until at least 2025. And until then, it's a waiting game. And Landon Norris is having a difficult year, in my opinion, compared to last year where he got a pole position out in Sochi, Russia. Had a chance to win that Grand Prix. Got a couple of podiums last year, but this year so far has one podium, which was out in Imola at the very beginning of the year. Since then, not much has really happened for Landon Norris and McLaren, and they just got to wait around until this cap thing starts evening out for all teams, and it's kind of to become an equal field. Because until then, it's going to be your top three teams as always: Mercedes, Red Bull, and Ferrari. But there you go. There's my top 10. Leclerc gets the win. Verstappen second. Hamilton third. Perez fourth. Sainz in fifth. Russell in sixth. Alonso in seventh. Ocon in eighth. Zhou Guanyu in ninth. And Lando Norris in 10th. The weather's looking good. And Alex Albon is my dark horse. Everybody, though, remember to please like and subscribe and comment down below your opinions on how things will play out for the entire race weekend, both NASCAR and in Formula One. Peace.